Hello, chat. Welcome to the show. And we have a special guest tonight hanging out with us. Hi, Pupper. You got nothing to say? You got nothing to say tonight, Clyde? Well, guys, we are. Um. Did I still have? No, we're still here. Good. All right. Anyways, guys, welcome to the show. My name is Sean, most potential criminal. I'm an attorney in the Cleveland, Ohio area, and tonight we're kind of switching it up. We're doing a bit of a. It's kind of like true crime-ish, but it's something a couple people I know, and a couple of you had sent me things to cover this. And until somebody gets arrested and there's officially charges and whatnot, I mean, like, I don't know if there's a whole lot I can do to talk about it other than be like, wow, these people got smoked. It sounds pretty bad. I don't really have anything we could do about it until there's an arrest. And wouldn't you know, we have an arrest. So that's the good news. Yes, this is the case of the Tepes. They were murdered, and they were murdered. It's a very weird. It's kind of an interesting story. It's a very interesting story that we're going to get into here, and I think it just shows you. It's well, actually, just really good because it's going to be Ohio stuff. But this one's weird. This one's a little weird in how this all happened. Anyways, Clyde, you got something you want to say? Huh? Huh? I like how he puts his paws on that, like he's peering over the edge. Oh. Can I put you over my shoulder? I'll put you over my shoulder like a baby. Oh, you don't want that. You want to. I guess you're going to have to sit here, Clyde. You have to sit here. So, anyways, guys, welcome to the show. Welcome. Let's see. Let's see here. All hail. Prayers for Erica. Yes. Prayers for Erica. Let's see here. Botto says, evening, Sean. Will Friday be an unfortunate Greer stream? New always dumb stuff. Yeah, some interesting stuff's happened with Russell Greer. Apparently, Russell decided to submit some AI documentation. And apparently, it's the thing I told you was the biggest problem is when your AI hallucinates court cases completely. So, yeah, I think Russell's in a spot of trouble, and we may be covering that. We'll see how this week unfolds here. Let's see. We are. Greencast says thought tonight would be a fake girls' night after SCOTUS. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I know a lot of you guys like the SCOTUS stuff, but I also kind of get the feeling a bunch of you guys don't like it. And that's okay if you don't. I just thought it would be a nice little change up, and we can cover those oral arguments basically at another point here. But the Supreme Court today was about transgender males competing in female sports. Basically, is that allowable or not, or is that discriminatory? And that was really what we were looking at today. So we can watch that, but I get the feeling a bunch of you guys aren't as interested. And I thought, well, maybe you guys we'll try this out. We'll try out something new in terms of content. I feel like I'm talking like feeling like I'm trying out things. Now, guys, are we going to have an engagement tonight? Well, just let me know if you guys like this or don't like this, and we may do it again in the future, but we may not. And Clyde, do you want down butter? Okay, I'll set you down. Thank you for coming here, Bubby. Oh, he had static. He was shocking. I'm a shocking dog. Oh, I've got little wings on my beard. I gotta trim those. Trimming time. Clyde has lived his best life. I'd like to think so. He misses Bon. Yes, that's probably what's going on there. Clyde has become quite the escape artist. Yeah, but I think we fixed that for now. Brewberry says your dog Bobo is recovering because he got attacked by a big dog over the weekend. Jeez. Hope he's okay. That's why you don't take your dog fighting. They got to be the big dog. Darcy says, I just read an article the process server have been trying to. Find him in months before the civil case, before the murder. Weird, sad. Oh, we'll get to that. Mark Pugner says, yeah, rest in peace, Scott Adams. Scott Adams shuffled off this mortal coil today. It does sound like he finally accepted Jesus as his Lord and Savior, which that's really, I think, that's the good news today. That's, while he passed on, that's good news. That's good news. I think I didn't see the tweets about it, but he did. And if that's the case, it's like, good. Makes you happy, makes you feel better about it. Let me see here. We'll take a look at that. But anyways, that's some good news there. Eric says, did you get my email sent to your Gmail? Let me see here. What did you send to me? Hold on, let me. Oh, yes, I do have that now. Went to my spam. Oh, there's a Karen Reed movie? I did not know I didn't know they already made that. That's pretty interesting. That'd be interesting. That would be very interesting. Billy Bush interviewed Alan Jackson. Well, I guess, I talked to Alan. I was like, AJ, you gonna let Billy go first? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. No. Jackson was confused about tailoring laws mean. Sometimes she does goofy stuff there. Kel says, most of the SCOTUS stuff puts me to sleep. I understand. Some of you guys like it. Rip Sticks and Hex and Hammer. Well, he's still alive. Billy is the best Bush, yes. I need to make some good 15 and 20 minute long videos so I can get featured on the Roach King stream. Yeah, I need to work on that. But that is something we'll get to. Something we will get to here. Now, what is... So we are going to... Sean covering SCOTUS is better than me covering scrotums. Well, yeah, I hope so. Oh. Yes, what a weird time to click on the stream and rip Scott Adams and Sean saying they're good. That makes you happy. Well, if he accepted Jesus into his life, that's awesome, man. That's awesome sauce. That's what you want to hear from people. So I heard the lifetime thing has John will keep buried in a big pile of snow. Really? Nearnat says, can we get a UCMJ expert on Mark Kelly? When? I'll try to find somebody. I'm not sure if I can, but I can look for that. I don't know what I can do there, but yeah, we're gonna keep everything covered, guys. We're gonna keep everything covered. Karen confirmed the swinger rumors in Kent were real. It's not really a surprise, I guess. Not really a surprise. But we got some other things here. George Benke says, I saw a clip of Nick Ricada. Did you guys know Sean was fat? Yeah, I know. Shocker, huh? Shocker. But anyways, let's get started, guys. Talk is cheap, and we're burning daylight. Can I talk about Darrell Brooks' latest motion request for a hearing? I mean, I can put it down for... I don't know, though. What did he do? Let me Google here, because I don't know what Darrell Brooks had done. Darrell Brooks, what did he just ask for now? What did he do? So what is he doing? He's challenging a Wisconsin... He's challenging because right now he's in South Dakota State Penitentiary and he's not able to access documents. That's one of the things that sucks at times when you're in prison. Like, I've seen this before where people are been stuck in prison and deadlines have passed, and they've been on, like, lockdown, and I found case law for this, and the court's like, "Oh, well." It's like, how does that work? She can't even show up. Like, you literally can't do anything, but apparently that's happened before. But he's challenging that because I guess there has been some lockdown out where he's at, and I don't think that's fair to people. Like, he's not gonna win. Let him file his appeal. Quit getting in the way of it. Quit getting in the way of it. Old My Rent said there was a guy who covered Karen Reed who was a JAG lawyer. I can't remember his name. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Let me know if you guys send me the names here. Let me hold on real quick, chat. Hold on here. Uh-oh. Hold on. It should be right next to the door, sweetheart. Oh, Clyde got in a lot of big trouble there. So just run, Clyde. Don't tell him to run. Do not do that. Anyways, let's get going here. Let's get going. It is time to move on. First of all, we start off with our parties, the people who are, well, where does it start? Well, it starts off with Spencer and Monique Tepe or Tepe, I'm not sure. Tepe. 2.0's projecting her voice really well. She's pissed. It's just he's being a goober dog. So anyway, we're starting off here, and here's where we start our story. This is the Tepes. This is Spencer and Monique. They've been married about 5 years now, and they have 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And here's where it starts. So on the 30th of December, they were found shot to death. Somebody called in and there was a concern, and they were found dead. She was found shot once, and he was found shot a couple of times. Now, this is where, hold on, Kay, what are you saying? It's Teep. Oh, it's Teep. Well, then why is there an extra E? The E is silent. So they were found dead, and this is where it was kind of a big deal here. But like I said, until something happened, there wasn't a whole lot I could really talk about. As it happened, though, I know people were speculating like, oh, well, she had been shot once. Well, I talk about the dispatcher's behavior. Marlene, I don't know about that. If you want to throw a comment, and I'll take a look at it, okay? But they were found dead. He was found shot a couple of times. She was shot once. And I know some people were saying like, oh, well, what does that mean? It's like, I mean, it sounds like whoever killed the wife probably just went, and then whoever killed the husband, he was like, no, you're not going to kill us. And he fought. So he had to like, that's not uncommon. It's not uncommon at that point to do that. And it's a pretty normal thing. Also, maybe he got shot like bop, bop, and he didn't die right away. And the guy's like bop, 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 bop. We don't know. We don't know for sure, but something happened where he got shot a bunch more times. Going from there. Oh, and Gene says the dispatcher is being dismissive. And Karen saying the office called for a welfare check that got screwed up. Yeah. And the dispatcher was dismissive. I mean, that happens. That happens with dispatchers. Like, they got enough going on. Like, these guys live in Columbus. And Columbus has enough, like, real crime that I could see the dispatcher being like, yeah, whatever. It's not uncommon. It also really depends on how it came in, the call. But yeah, I could see that. I could see a dispatcher kind of blowing people off. And yeah, watch out. You too could see the assault fingers. Watch Yes. People tend to like not being killed, Muspel. Yes. Now, yes, it's clearly a case of self-defense. All right. So they were found dead in their home. The kids were found there. The kids were alive. They were found unharmed. So I mean, like, thank God that there was no more bloodshed. But and I hope to God those kids didn't have to like hear it. Much less see their parents get murdered. But kind of sounds like that may have happened. Which, whoa, that's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. Now I know there were things swirling around from the start, and this is where Uh, it's the law of averages. Who normally kills you? It's going to be somebody you know. It's going to be somebody very close to you, typically. It's going to be like a family member or a friend or somebody who has a very intimate business or an intimate relationship with you. Close, business associates. And oh, hold on one second, chat. So, um, there's a bunch of stuff here that denotes like what's going on and how does this stuff happen. And Karen says there was no forced entrance. Well, that can mean a lot of things. Maybe he was let in, or maybe he was able to get in. I mean, from what we understand, the suspect in this was a bit of a stalker to involved in this. And also, it's not hard to break in if you really, really want to break in. Um, it's not hard if you're motivated. And that's the neat thing about crime. If you're very well motivated, you could do a lot of crime. Green Cap saying, was it set up like a murder-suicide? No. Clearly was not a murder-suicide. It was clearly a straight murder on this. Now, with that said, who do they go to? Well, for guys, if you're out there and your spouse gets murdered, you're going to have to deal with it, but the police automatically are coming for you. Yes, you. If you're the husband, they really think it's you. If you are the wife and your husband dies, yeah, they're going to think you had some hand in it. It's not uncommon at all. I mean, because think about it. Tale as old as time. Husband murders wife. Also, wife murders husband. It's very, very common. Very common. But from here, there's another person in the story. Monique has an ex-husband. And this is where it gets a little weird for things. Monique has an ex-husband. And that husband is Michael McKee. Now, here's the weird thing. He was married to Monique, but here's the weird part. This is the husband. They were married for a while, a couple years, and they got divorced like 10 years ago. Like, they've been divorced for the better part of a decade now. Which, it's one thing for if I told you the storyline of ex-husband kills ex-wife and they just got divorced. You know what? You'd be like, I buy that. Sean, that makes total sense. Ex-husband kills wife 10 years later. And you're like, what? Yeah, how do you hold on to that for 10 years? Oh, Kat said they only married for 7 months. Ooh, buddy. Even worse. But yeah, how do you hold on to this for 10 years? Well, apparently this guy did. My cat's name is Karen, so the kids his no. Monique and Spencer got married about 5 years ago. They have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. So her kids are part of this marriage. He was playing the long game, I guess. I guess he was playing the long game there. Well, that's a long time to let that sit. It's a long time. Just let that brew and fester. So, he didn't have kids with this woman. Like I said, she had the kids with the new husband, but this held on to him for years. And, he shows up and kills them, is what we know now, is what the allegations are. Now, after the murder happened, the police were out trying to find some things. And they put this out onto. Ooh, there's a new Don Shipley. I'm gonna have to watch that later. There was a Ring doorbell or a Nest Cam or whatever you want to call one of them. There was a person of interest the police had found after the killings walking around. And that's the music they're using. And the Monique and Spencer were killed in the middle of the night. They weren't found until around 10 o'clock in the morning. But prior to that, they were killed earlier in the morning, like around I think probably 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I forget the top of my head. We'll see it in the documents. But anyways, this is the suspect walking away. This is a person of interest. And just walking. And then they show it again so you can see it. And they show it again so you can see it there. But that shows you. Yes, it's a slender hoodie man. He's super tall. Yes, he is a very tall guy. Now, from here, this is Bridge Guy all over again. I don't know about that. I'm presuming they have quite a bit here on him. Based on what they've charged him with. He's either suspicious cold. Yeah, it could be a cold. It could be a guy. It was cold. Now from here, they end up doing their investigations, and at this point, they turn their eyes towards Michael McKee. And on January 10th, he got charged formally. And what did they charge him with? And here's some basic information we can look at, guys, as far as what tells you what happened here. So this is the first thing that happened. This is out of Franklin County, which is where Columbus is located. So this is where we're going to be doing everything. He'll be tried in Franklin County, Ohio, which I know some are asking. Maybe I'll go to something, but that's 3 hours away. So maybe at some point. This was filed January 10th. And they say that on the 30th day, December 2025, he did knowingly cause the death of another, to wit, Monique Frances Tepe, by shooting her with a firearm. And it's a felony of the unclassified degree, and that's because it's murder, which is 2903.02A under the Ohio Revised Code. It's unclassified because it's a different penalty structure than the traditional felonies in Ohio. And this was done by a officer at the Columbus Police Department, and he is a detective. And this is signed electronically, which is not uncommon. You can use them. You might say, why is this all old and ghetto looking and goobery looking? Man, courts do it how they want to do it. That's the beauty of courts. So what are they looking for? Well, they think the person they want to serve this on, they need an arrest warrant. Okay, well, what do they need it for? Here's our bad man. His name is Michael David McKee. He lives on North Lincoln Park West. That's a mouthful. And yes, anyways, he's 6'1", 200 pounds. And he's being charged with murder. And it happened around 4 o'clock in the morning. He's also being charged with the death of Spencer Tepe. And what do we know from this? Well, here's the probable cause affidavit. So he says, I had personal knowledge of the facts listed in the statement of facts, as I was involved in the underlying investigation and or arrest. Well, he probably wasn't involved in the investigations. So he says on December 30th at 9:57 a.m., CPD officers were dispatched to the address to check on a welfare of the doctor. when not showing up to work. They found the doctor and his wife deceased, suffering from gunshot wounds. 2 minor children in the home were unharmed. The fire department showed up, and they were both deceased by 11 a.m., which means they were probably dead. The homicide unit was advised, and they responded. During the investigation, they will identify a suspect through neighborhood video surveillance. The suspect was tracked to a vehicle, well, there you go, which arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly just after. They were able to identify this vehicle further and link it to Michael McKee. The detectives located the vehicle in Rockford, Illinois. It found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. That's probable cause, guys. That's pretty straightforward. That's pretty straightforward for probable cause. And what does this ultimately mean? Nico says, I won't even go to the Christmas Story house. It's like an hour. It's like 30 minutes from me, dude. It's in Cleveland. Like it's outside of downtown Cleveland, and downtown's like 20 minutes by car. I've been there before. It's pretty boring. It's pretty boring. Yes, Timmy's Friend Simulator doesn't look like a good night for Fieldcraft. And tactical guidance from a man who can't stand up in front of the camera. I mean, I don't know. Don't get caught on surveillance cameras is pretty obvious advice here, Timmy. But here you go. It looks like they caught him on video walking along, and they caught him going to a car, and they were able to identify the car. I mean, guys, do a good job at checking where you are. Sanitize yourself. Sanitize your scenes, I'm not saying you could do this, but if you turn on the night vision mode on certain cameras and various things, these Ring cameras and everything will illuminate because they have passive IR that's always on, so they could see at night. And that's a great way to avoid being caught, because then you can see where they are and anticipating how to deal with that. Just saying it's an option. But yes, certainly they were able to use surveillance cameras. They probably tracked the car going around. And honestly, are people sloppy and impulsive when they commit a murder? Sure. And they followed him along. They probably followed him home. They probably they're going to get his easy pass, which Illinois has tons of toll roads, especially in the Chicago area. I bet this guy was dumb enough to do that. And his easy pass probably pinged, or there's going to be proof of him hitting the toll booth at a certain time of day and then a certain time in the morning. It's not impossible. And from Chicago to hold on, how far is it? It's like 5.5 hours, I think, from Chicago to Columbus. Let me see here. What are the directions? Columbus. It is 5.5 hours to Columbus. And that's you take I-70 all the way up to I-65. And you take that all the way into Chicago here. So that's a pretty straightforward route. That's a pretty straightforward route to go. You can just take it right in and probably the easiest way to go. But he's going to be documented. I don't know how that's going to go for him there. Are we sure he's not the I-80 Strangler? Yeah. Chinny says he at least had 7 hours to plan out his drive. Am I taking notes on a criminal conspiracy? Not yet. Probably took his cell phone in his car too. Probably. Wouldn't surprise me. We see this all the time. People get sloppy with these. People be sloppy. Peter says they have him on video. If they have him fully on video, then he's toast. But we'll see. Maybe he goes to trial. It'll be very interesting how they do this. Now, maybe he wanted to get caught. That happens sometimes. People want to get caught. And Arcade Outpost says never take your cell phone. Yes and no. that is not always guaranteed to help you because remember, we found out during the Murdaugh trial. If your phone's not moving at all, guess what they say? Well, if your phone's not moving, you have. If your phone's, why am I? Hold on here. Why was I? If your phone's not moving, they're going to say, "Oh, well, it means you left it at home." But if your phone, because remember, they can tell like what angle has it been touched? Does it move at all? What orientation is it facing? You're basically going to have something like touching it every once in a while or something like that. So, yeah, it'll be very difficult. It'll be very difficult. You're going to have to move it around with somebody, yeah. Unless you have a habit of already leaving it on all the time, that's going to be the other way. If you have it and you leave it like in a cradle and you watch it all the time, like that'll help you. That'll help you. Yeah, that's the other thing too, Marlene. Yes, when you turn it off when you normally don't, that's suspicious. Also remember, unless your battery is fully out of the phone, your phone could still be used as a tracking device. So it's never fully off unless the power is cut off from it. So for modern phones, it's actually not very easy to do. So yes, you're going to have to leave it at home. And that's going to make it, once again, things are going to be very difficult for you. So as I said before, people who want to commit murders, it's a very hard thing to do nowadays just because of the documentation and paper trails for literally everything that are out there. I mean, even the guy who did the January 6th pipe bombing, which that's still very sus. They found out he went to Home Depot like years before. So you've basically got to commit your, prepare for your murder 15 years in advance. That's the only way you're going to get around it. Scott Wade says a Faraday cage exists. Yeah, but that's going to be obvious that your phone loses signal and then all of a sudden it gains signal again. So that's the similar thing. Yes, that's the other thing too. Your car will tell on you. Your car will tell on you. And Tim Poole says the big selling point about Eric Prince's phone is a hard switch to disconnect the battery. He could say there's a hard switch, but unless you're physically removing it, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it. So. Katie, what do you... Oh, never mind. There's plate readers. I mean, that's the problem. Plate readers, ATM cameras, toll booth cameras, traffic cameras, ring doorbells. Somebody somebody just sitting there putting something on Snapchat or Instagram. They're like, yeah. And you're in the background now. There are so many ways to get caught. There's so many ways to get caught. I think it's in my horse and buggy won't tell on me. Well, that's going to take you a while then. I'm just saying. That's going to be... I mean, that's... by let's just do that by walking speed. If you did it like that, that's like 111 hours. So maybe with a horse, you can cut that down to half. It's like 50 hours one way. Diane says, if he calls on you, would you represent him? Sure. I mean, especially he's a doctor. He's got money. Yeah. Yes. So, definitely. Geofencing fucks things up too. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Now, from here, he was arrested in Chicago, and he had a extradition hearing. And guys, we're gonna watch just real quick. You guys ever seen one before? It's very simple. It's only 2 minutes long. That's pretty straightforward. So here we go.
All Michael McKee.
He looks a lot taller than 6'1", but I mean, I guess everybody at this jail must be a short king. But yeah, here he comes, guys. This is how you do a that's how you do an extradition hearing. There we go.
Terry Porter, for the defendant, is present in custody.
Your name, sir, for the record? Michael McKee. Have you had a chance to speak with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your position at this time?
Yes, at this time, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. McKee, I will assert his right to counsel. I will assert his right to remain silent. And Mr. McKee believes.
And that's important because now everybody's on notice. Even if he already said it, I want my lawyer. I don't want to talk to you cops. So now that's been officially asserted. And Karen, I wonder why you're saying he has a bad personality. I mean, you don't want to talk at this point. You don't want to talk at this point. So it's good that he's not talking.
That the most expeditious manner in which he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing and to have a governor's warrant and to agree to his immediate transportation to Ohio.
Understood, thank you. We will set this matter then for 2 o'clock on Monday. For status on the transfer.
Thank you.
Anything else we can do today?
Not
Well, guys, this is not Ohio. This is in Winnebago County, Illinois. We don't have a Winnebago County.
Thank you, Rick.
Oh.
Thanks, everyone.
That's literally it, guys. That's how fast an extradition hearing can be. Your Honor, and that's because it's simple. He's waiving extradition, saying, you know what, screw it. I'll just take my chances in Ohio. Let's get the ball rolling, because eventually they are going to get him extradited. They are going to be able to file. The state of Ohio would be able to challenge things and get him brought here, because he could challenge very few things at an extradition hearing. One of them, especially when you're dealing with state to state, is do you have the right guy? And that's typically what people will do to have an extradition hearing. And in this situation, he is, they're going to be able to identify him. He's not going to be able to challenge the case. You're not really able to fight it yet. So he's going to have his hearing, and then he would get extradited. So this came out today from the courts out there. Also, by the way, guys, Gisela, the true crime, she has a Google Drive with all the stuff open. That's where I found all this at. So definitely, I think she's out of Switzerland. Just want to make sure she gets proper accreditation and proper for all of this. But anyways, it's in the extradition of Michael McKee. It's not always done as a state of whatever. It's not the people of Illinois versus Michael McKee. This is really just in re, meaning in the matter of the extradition of Michael McKee. So they're pointing out that the court has been informed that transport to Franklin County will not be feasible by Monday, January 19th, which is surprising because that's next Monday. But remember, that's Martin Luther King Day. So while there are cops out there, Netherlands. Oh, she's from the Netherlands. Oh, okay. So she's a South African living in Switzerland. Oh, okay. There we go. So anyway, it's Martin Luther King Day. And then also today is Tuesday. It's going to take a day or two to arrange, probably from somebody from Columbus, to come get him. So now it might be the Franklin County Sheriff. Sometimes it's the detectives working the case will come get him. And what they're going to do there is, what they're going to do is they got to wait, obviously. So the previous date for Monday, January 19th is stricken because there will be nobody here. The next day it's set for is January 23rd at 2 p.m. Now, how this works is you're expected to come get the guy if you're asking for him. And Franklin County in the state of Ohio is saying, we want this guy, we want this guy, we want this guy. So the judge says, fine, you're going to have to come get him by a certain time. Now, I've seen this happen before. Well, you've been given 25 days. I mean, I saw once where the guy was needed, Oregon wanted to come get him. And the judge said, fine, you have 30 days to come get the guy. 30 days came and went. Actually, I think it was like 20-something came and went. And the state of Oregon actually informed the court and the prosecutor, like, yeah, we ain't coming to get this guy. We're not doing that. He's not worth it. So what happens? At that point, you can get released. And then your job is to report to the court where you're being told to go. So this guy was told, get your ass to Oregon right away. Now, here's the deal. He might end up, driving there and the warrant pings somewhere else and it happens again. But what happened in the case I saw, the guy had a report and he was told to show up and he didn't show up. And he kept screwing around in Ohio. Well, a couple months later, he got arrested again and his warrant pinged off. And he went through a whole extradition hearing again. And he sat there probably for another 3.5 weeks total. And then they finally released him again. Now, the problem is with extraditions, all that time is considered dead time. You don't get jail time credit for that stuff. So people who fight extradition and spend like 3.5, 4 months fighting extradition, you don't get credit for that jail time. You don't get credit for it. It's a very common thing you don't. Now, he is, anyways, this is his extradition order. And then here is his extradition surrender or his waiver. So his waiver of extradition and consent to return, he's just saying, look, I'm not going to fight this. You guys do what you got to do. So it's a waiver and it's a consent to return. So he has to be informed of what is it? Ohio, specifically Franklin County. They're demanding it because you're being accused of murder. And who are they looking for? Michael McKee. And he's been informed in open court he has the right to legal counsel. And if counsel can't be hired, he can request and receive appointed counsel free of charge. The court has informed me that I have the right to an extradition process, including the issuance and service of a warrant of extradition, which is what's called a governor's warrant. This is a old school thing where the governor would write to Governor of Ohio would serve a warrant on the governor of Illinois and say, surrender this person unto me. And it would be from governor to governor, like player to player, pimp to pimp. We don't do that anymore, but I have seen governor's warrants get issued before. It's very interesting. The one time I will say there was a issue about extradition. I was in the intern in the prosecutor's office back in 2010, 15 years ago now. And this guy had committed a grisly double murder. Pretty bad. And there was a concern that in Ohio, like it wasn't clear yet, was he going to get the death penalty or not? And he had fled to the state of Michigan. Michigan has never had the death penalty. Michigan's the only state in America that's never had the death penalty since its statehood. Once they had it when they were federal territory, but once they became a state, their state constitution, they abolished the death penalty. The governor of Michigan, there was a concern at the time that the governor was going to refuse to turn him over until there were assurances he would not face the death penalty. Now, that ended up that was just a minor blip. It never materialized, but there was a severe concern about that. As the case unfolded in the next couple of weeks, they realized it's not worth going after him for, capital murder, so it didn't happen anyway. But it was a very interesting thing that the judge may not, or the one state may refuse to hand a guy over. Thankfully, that crisis was averted. He has the right to challenge the legality of his arrest, contest the extraditions by filing a petition for habeas corpus. Now, that's the point where you could say, look, I'm in jail. Why is there a warrant for me? I demand to know what's going on. That's what that is. And he says, I've also been informed I have the right to waive any challenge to my arrest and extradition. and I may consent to return to the demanding state to face the charges. And that's true. You could just say, "Nah, well, I'll just go back and deal with it." After consulting counsel, I hereby exercise and waive my right to challenge my arrest and extradition. I hereby consent to return to the demanding state to face the charges. I understand that by exercising this, I am giving up the other rights listed above, meaning just these ones here, just these rights. And technically, you're kind of giving part of that as well. He says, no promises have been made to me, no threats have been made against me to voluntarily return to the demanding state. True. It's correct. This is also, none of this can be used against him. The fact he waived extradition is not relevant to his court case. Now, if he did something at the extradition here, he said, like, hell yeah, I fucking did it. Okay, that's something that could be used. But this document itself, they're not going to hold it up and go, isn't it true you waived extradition? Not relevant. Not relevant. Then the judge comes down here, and this is common on forms. You'll see the order or the, journal entrization by the court. And they just point out that, he signed this document in open court in my presence and has stated to me that he's been making this freely, voluntarily, without promise, compulsion, threat, force, or duress. And that's important because if he comes back later and says, well, no, they said they were going to beat me if I did it. Well, you came in front of the court and, dealt with this. You're not going to be able to argue that later because you're saying that. So he says, based on the above waiver of extradition, the sheriff should deliver forthwith the individual to the duly accredited agents of the demanding state, meaning wherever Ohio sends. And this was signed on, this is weird because it's saying, I guess this was all yesterday, signed by the judge, getting his thing on. Now that's where we end up at now, but there have been new charges that have been filed. Real quick, we have some comments here. St. Commando is saying, was he trying to Jerry Springer them and go, you are not the father? Well, that's a Maury Povich thing, really, about the fathers. All I read, once again, it's good to see you. Saying it's expensive as fuck to live in Lincoln Park in Chicago. Okay. I say, isn't that where Obama lives, or is that Hyde Park? I don't know they're right there, I think. Sweet Tooth Fairy says, Sean, are you murder certified or whatever it's called? Death penalty certified? No. I have not had anywhere near enough murder cases to try. Hopefully at some point that changes in the future, but getting death penalty certified is still tough because the Supreme Court kind of picks who they want to be death penalty certified because it's a very specialized thing. It's a very resource intense thing for people as well. So the courts will be very, very limiting on that. And then Johan says, yes, and Michael McKee is a vascular surgeon. Those guys, vascular surgeon's a good way to make money if you're a surgeon. One of the best ways. So. I mean, there are places with 55-mile-an-hour speed limits, ARCA's chicken gun, just like, no, on the turnpike, it's like, on the turnpike and highways in most places, it's 70. So, no. He says this could be a death penalty case. Yes, and we're going to get to that. So, what happened? Well, filed on the 11th, new charges or a new complaint was filed. And what does this one show? Well, this one shows a different charge. And it says 30th day, December 2025. Once again, what did he do? He killed Monique Tepe by means of a firearm. And once again, signed by the detective here. But now we see 290301A. Once again, which is a felony of the unclassified degree. So, what does that mean? Well, we're going to get to that in a second here. Once again, Michael McKee. And then once again, Spencer Tepe was also killed. Same thing, 290301A. We're going to get to that. These are the documents there. So what are 2903.01 and 0.02? Well, funny you should ask. Funny you should ask in Ohio, because I could tell you. I could tell you what those are. And to go to those, we go to the Ohio Revised Code, which is the state law, the governing laws for the state of Ohio. And in the Ohio Revised Code, you go through and you can find crimes or procedures. And you go to chapter 2903, homicide and assault. Yes, homicide and assaults are kept in the same part of the Revised Code. So you start off with, well, what's 290302? It's just a murder. Okay. Now, 2903.02 is just what a lot of states would call second-degree murder. You can't purposely cause the death of another or the unlawful termination of another's pregnancy. So this is just regular murder. This also covers in Ohio the death of another as approximate result of the defender's committing or attempting to commit an offense of violence that is a felony of the first or second degree, and is not a violation of the other parts of the Revised Code. And those two parts of the Revised Code here are manslaughter. So you can't get charged of felony murder for committing manslaughter. If you do get charged and convicted of murder under these sections at all, well, it's a pretty simple sentence in Ohio. It's I could probably put it right here. In Ohio, if you get convicted of these, it's an automatic 15 years to life. There's a presumption you would get parole at 15 or you're eligible. Nobody ever gets parole at 15 years. But that's what you look at, 15 to life. And a lot of people do 20-some years when they're doing their case. So not uncommon at all. Not uncommon at all. If you're trans, that doesn't matter. But now you get to the big one here. Aggravated murder. Aggravated murder in Ohio is what we call, what you would call in many states, first-degree murder. Now, this is how aggravated murder in Ohio works. No person shall purposefully and with prior calculation and design cause the death of another or terminate their pregnancy. So what does that mean there? Well, remember, you can establish intent in an instant, but you can't purposely with prior calculation and design do this. So that's under A. Now, what are the other ones here? Well, if you kill somebody who's under the age of 13 years at the time of the commission, it's aggravated murder. If no person's under detention or having pled guilty up to a felony, meaning you've pled guilty to a crime, but you haven't been sentenced yet. Well, you may be taken into custody. Well, if you break that detention, meaning you escape, and you cause somebody to die during the escape, yeah, that's aggravated murder. If you cause the death of a law enforcement officer, that can do it. There's entirely multiple ways of doing this. And then this one here is the same way. You can't cause the death of another while attempting to commit these specified offenses. So if you kill someone while you're committing kidnapping, rape, aggravated arson, aggravated robbery, aggravated burglary. And aggravated burglary means you commit burglary and you were using force to do it and somebody's getting hurt, or you used a weapon to do it. Trespass in a habitation, when a person is likely to be present, you're like, that's a mouthful. That is an actual crime. That's kind of like Ohio's like burglary light. It's actually a lower level felony. If you can get it, it's actually helpful when you're facing these types of crimes. Like, this is a subset of burglary. And then burglary is underneath aggravated burglary. So there's the levels to it. Terrorism or escape. And these are considered all inherently violent and dangerous felonies. The traditional way when you learn this in law school, it was the mnemonic was BARC, which was burglary, arson, robbery, rape, kidnapping. That was how you had to remember it. But that was the generic way of remembering the inherently dangerous and violent felonies. These ones especially are, and you can see rape and arson is kind of an additional thing here too. But these are all basically that. So you can't do it. Now, with this, you face quite a bit of options for your potential sentence here. When you do this, and you shall be punished by section 292902 of the Ohio Revised Code. Well, what would help is, well, what does that one say? And this one says, and these are the penalties for murder. So here are the murder penalties. Whoever's convicted of violating section 29301, aggravated murder, you shall suffer death or be imprisoned for life as determined pursuant to other sentencing sections of the revised code. And they point out, though, except that if you haven't been found to be 18 years of age, you can't be imprisoned for LWOP, life without parole. And that no person raises the matter of age could deal with that. So, yeah, it's a very serious thing here. This is also, where you get the indefinite term of 15 years of life for 290302. But they point out that, you're looking at, suffering death or be imprisoned for life. So when you go to court, when you deal with this, what does the aggravated murder show? Well, some options are life without parole, or death. Those are your options when you commit aggravated murder. Now, Ohio needs to fix that 18 rule. Which 18 rule? Walrus, that's Supreme Court precedent. If you're under the age of 18, you cannot automatically be sentenced to life without parole. The court has to do a bunch of evaluation and revisiting. They decided that juveniles need the opportunity for rehabilitation. So the Supreme Court has said that you can't just do that. So as much as you'd like to oppose that, there's not a whole lot you can do there. There's not a whole lot you can do here on this. Now, let me see. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. P-Dub says, will the Ohio penitentiary system allow him to use his skills treating other prisoners? Probably not. Probably not at this point. I don't think they would let him. M. Boyle is saying, do we actually kill people in Ohio? Last guy we executed was 2018. There is no official moratorium on the death penalty. I have the feeling that if Vivek Ramaswamy loses his election and Amy Acton takes over, who was the COVID queen, the director of public health back during COVID, and she is a Democrat, I have a feeling we'll probably get a moratorium on the death penalty officially, or people having their sentences commuted. But no, in Ohio, the death penalty is still an option. But Ohio hasn't been able to do it since, the drugs got cut off to do it. So you can still be sentenced to death. But remember, to be sentenced to death, the prosecutor has to file proper paperwork and seek the death penalty. It's not just automatic. They're eligible for it is what happens. And then from there, the prosecutor charges you and asks for the death penalty, and the court goes at that point. How are they carrying out the death penalty at all? They haven't done it yet. We don't know how they're going to try. One of the ways they're thinking about is nitrogen hypoxia, nitrogen suffocation, like they did out west. There's really no other way because all the lethal injection drugs are not able to be found. Hold on a second, chat. Now, what would happen here? Somebody said, would Ohio go back to the firing squad? We haven't had the firing squad. Ohio has done hangings. Ohio did hangings for a long time. Ohio did the electric chair for a while. Those are the big ones. Those are the big ones. So we can't do a whole lot there. So let's see here. Angela says this shouldn't be allowed, especially when it's a clear-cut case they committed the crime. Yeah, well, they still had the chance to try it, so. Yes, Ohio cannot forward the bill for the electric chair. Yes, that's... Actually, I gotta ask, did Ohio ever use a gas chamber? I don't think we ever have. Yeah, Ohio has never used a gas chamber. I know somebody was going to ask that. We have not. Like, it was something that was planned when the electric chair was working as an alternative. But, yeah. Have you seen how much AEP or First Energy charges us? Like, I can't afford that myself. So... That's kind of where we are with what they can do here. So this guy is Drew Carey should oversee all death penalty cases in Ohio. All right, funny. So is this guy going to get executed? I doubt it. Are they going to, seek, life without parole for this guy? Probably. That's really what's going to happen to this guy. I'm not gonna lie to you, chat, gas you up and say it's money in the bag, because it's not. It's not money in the bank. He's not going to get, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Did I see the Florida part sealer got 70 felonies out of New York and has never been there? DeSantis signed off on the warrant. No, I don't know. Can you send me a link to that? Because I don't know what that is. If you're forced to watch the Browns, is that cruel and unusual? Yeah, that's such is life. Such is life. You suffer. And Derna says YouTube hates all my opinions on this topic. I'm sorry to hear that. That's a bummer. Because, well, if you read we talked about the complaint. They followed the guy's cameras till he got into a car, and it looks like they tracked the car and were able to verify the car and tie it to him, and then verify that he had access to that car and control the car basically all night. So I'm assuming they have quite a bit on him. So it's not just, it's gonna be circumstantial, but it's gonna be very strong circumstantial evidence. So let's see here. That is was the video inverted? Har. No, but that's what this guy's dealing with now. It's not going to be. That's what it's going to be here. The Steelers made me $40 dues. Jeez. I guess that's how you got to make your money. Make your money on the Steelers. But that is it's kind of the update there. I don't know if you guys enjoyed this tonight. If you did, I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was something neat. We're going to kind of shake things up a little bit. Kind of stepping away from the normal cases and different things we're doing here. Gene Williams says they arrested him at Chick-fil-A. So they were watching. Angela says, are we going to watch this trial when it starts? You best believe, yes. I think this will be a good one if this guy goes all the way through. This one I do think will be a lot of fun. And besides, I can talk about this one compared to everybody else because I can tell you 100% what's going on. Did I fix the paint gun? I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe it works. We'll find out at some point here. I'll try it one day. But yes, we are definitely going to watch this guy. We are definitely going to watch this guy. It'll be It'll be good. It'll be good. Will Mr. Rogers retire after last night's? Oh, and me, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, well. My cat's name is Karen. Says Sean, look into the au pair trial. It's freaking wild. You know, we can start. I saw that started today. If you guys want, we could probably start that. It looks pretty interesting. It looks pretty interesting there. It's like an you guys start watching on a cat? Okay. I mean, I can take a look at it. If you guys are that interested in that one, we can definitely. Yes, the au pair trials of Johnny Depp judge. Oh, all right. Well, we'll do that one. We'll do that one. I mean, I looked into it. Somebody brought it up today, and it looks pretty interesting. So, but yeah, we can watch it tonight, or we can watch it starting tomorrow night. I know it just started today, but we'll be a day behind if we can catch up. Yes, Washington State's getting sued by Brian Kohberger's victims. Yeah, which is completely stupid. Like, you know, how dare you let that creep? Like, every graduate student's a weirdo. Every graduate student's a weirdo. Like that's how, if the graduate students weren't weirdos, like nothing would ever get done. It's happening in my own backyard. I'm a celebrity. Funny. And also, speaking of celebrity stuff, guys, we have our sponsors who are the real celebrities of this show. And those are we have the dragonstreasure.com promo code criminal, 10% off all of your teas, your coffees, and your soaps. The dragonstreasure.com, a haven for tea and anime lovers. Don't use those other garbage codes out there, chat. The code COPE, that's not a good one. That coupon's no longer valid. Don't use any other coupon, but this one. Help the tea man buy his tea. Then we have MAF Corporation, MAF-arms.com, chat. I don't know about you guys, but we had a couple of warm days here. Almost felt like springtime. Get your wind chimes ready. Get your wind chimes ready. And let the neighborhood hear them. Let the neighborhood hear them. And we will cover on Thursday night. Over 150,000 NFA filings have been filed and submitted. It's amazing what you'll do when there's no tax on it. And then last but not least, chat, Stoney's at 1580 Broadway Street in Rockville, Minnesota. Stoney's is your place to go, chat. Got a lot of good music coming up here this winter. Support Stoney's. Take care of them. Show them some love. They got to do something while Aaron's away. Right now, Aaron, for the Steel Toe Morning Show, is away from Stoney's. He's out actually engaging in the Chicago or the Minneapolis ICE protest. He's engaging in that, like that real journalism out there. And I heard that when he runs into the protesters, if they don't give him a good enough answer, he challenges to a game of Naked Twister right then and there in front of everybody. For some reason, it's never been caught on camera. But today there were some ICE protesters, and Aaron's like, come on, let's do it. And they did Naked Twister together. Aaron's bringing everyone together. But he's doing that real life journalism out there. Guys, so you won't get it at Stoney's, but keep Stoney's, keep the seat warm for Aaron. Let him know he's always welcome. Help Stoney's do that. And they'll bring their boy home. Stoney's serving Central Minnesota for 30 years. Yes, you can confirm the weirdo thing. Yes, grad students are weirdos. But that's why they're good. If they weren't, they'd be awful grad students. Roscoe says, the one you sent me, what did you send me? It's only about 12 to 15 minutes. What do you mean the one you sent me? Yes, Arcade Outpost. Good to see you, man. It's been a little while. Hope you're doing well. It says Treasure. Yes. Did Dragon's Treasure disavow Nick? Yes. Also, chat, I will just say, I know T-Man, we talked about this before earlier this year. T-Man was having some having some rough times he was looking at. T-Man told me, like, this has been a great year for him, and he wanted to say, and I don't know if you've seen it from T-Man, but he wanted to extend a heartfelt appreciation to everybody who helped keep them afloat, keep them going. You know, they're strong, they're long, and they're strong, and they're down to get that friction on this year. So T-Man's DTF at this point. And you guys helped him. You guys helped him. Thank you for doing that. Karen says almost freezing in Florida. Oof. Did I see the dude is folding anti-ICE protesters? Yeah. I don't recommend it. You don't go out tar jousting, chat. Don't go out tar jousting, because he easily could have got like 10 or 12 of those guys river dancing on him. You know, that showing up out there, if you're not prepared, you know, don't play pickup basketball if you haven't stretched out and warmed up. I mean, it's pickup basketball, but it'll be fierce. It'd be fierce out there. I'm definitely telling the truth about Aaron playing Naked Twister. Of course I am. 100% truth. True and honest. Fact checked by the most realist of American patriots. Let me see here. Is the lockout book worth the read? I have not seen it, so I don't know. Will Dragon's Treasure fist fight Jeremy from Coffee Brand Coffee? That'd be funny. That'd be funny which bag of coffee they want to go after. Although it'd be funny if they were bagged at the same place. So. Derna says that dude was Shaq in a pickup game with toddlers. Yeah, but you don't know how these people could fight. Like, you won't know until you look at them, and then, you know, 15 high schoolers, you know, Shaq could kick a high schooler's ass, but maybe not 15 at once. Got to be careful. Got to be careful. This user 404 says, do you ever cover the rare breed stuff, or did I miss that? Not today. We are going to cover that tomorrow. Rare breed is tomorrow. I got the lawsuit and everything, so we're going to go through that. Let's see here. Yes, I remember when Stickman would show up to Antifa rallies. Those were hilarious. SB Seller says, Giggywick. Yes, that's Meme Copium's gaming channel, guys. 88 away from 1,000. Need to get those bench numbers up. Yes. Yes, we do. And 1 second more. Kaiton says, the quartering's so deep in debt. No, he's not. All this shit's write-offs, man. As long as he did it right, it's all write-offs. It's not that big a deal for him. Let's see here. Shaq is a good... Well, Shaq is a good guy, yes. I want to pay Shaq on Fiverr to confirm this. Oh, Kale says the trial starts tomorrow. Okay, good. We'll do day 1 tomorrow then. That'll be good. We'll catch up on that. Oh, the trial is tomorrow. Yeah, well, okay. Well, we'll be doing Rare Breed also along with that. We'll probably do a double. Real Captain Freedom says, so because I said I suspected him, he's gone bonkers. Other people are getting threatened. Oh, yes. I mean, here is tomorrow. Oh, I mean, tomorrow. Here is tomorrow. Here is tomorrow. Is that like a philosophical argument? You're saying you meant like tomorrow we're doing it here. It's like, what is time? All right. The trial is here tomorrow, yes. I thought Shaq had TDS. I don't think he does. I don't think he does. So. I don't think he does at this point. So tomorrow becomes today, yes. And as you learn in Carousel, tomorrow belongs to me. Okay, yes. Time is a human construct. It doesn't exist. That is very correct. Very, very, very correct. Charles Barkley has Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, well, you can have it. Hold on one more second. Sorry, Chad. I thought I heard 2.0 say something. I just want to make sure I didn't miss her. See, am I representing Clyde? Of course I am. I would always protect Clyde. I always got his back. I'm avoiding lip readers. Yes. Someone triggered Sean's inner theater kid. He might start singing again. Well, yeah. I mean, like we could. It's like that song out of Minneapolis. Renee Good. It's like as Frank Sinatra, saying like that's life. Some people say you try to run over an ICE agent and you get shot in the face. Oh. Oh, let's see here. Don't let me talk to you like that. Am I going to cover the first day of trial today, Zanist? No, we're going to probably start that tomorrow because I don't unless it happened like super short, but I hadn't really promised anybody like we would start tomorrow and we'll catch up. We go at we can watch it at a quicker speed, like 1.3 speed, because actually when you listen to it live, it sounds okay. When you listen to the recording, everyone talks like this. Whereas if you listen to it at 1.3 speed, it sounds pretty good like you're listening to it live. It's actually very helpful. And we can skip all the breaks, so we have like two things that make it very quick. Sean's still trying to sing That's Life. Yes. Thank you, Joe. Yes. Yes. Hi, I'm Renee. Welcome to Jackass. Oh, the defense attorney is molasses. Well, we'll deal with that. 1.3 makes everyone Ben Shapiro. No, Ben Shapiro is at like 1.5 already on his own. The real Captain Freedom says breaded veal cutlets, which, hey, that sounds pretty good. Some breaded veal cutlets. Let me tell you what. Eating every actress says my singing is meh. Well, of course it is. It's my singing. Do you blame the 124 grain hollow point for the car wreck? Well, I mean, yeah, it like turned it. He flipped her switch and she went, ugh. Like, yes, I'm sure that's what did it. But no, we'll do that. We'll do that. So the female driver would have happened anyway. We'll know. Will the car insurance pay out? I don't know. It's like what is it, like a 2013 Honda Pilot anyway? Those old Honda Pilots in the boxy shape. Let me see here. Hold on. Honda Pilot body styles by year. Yeah, it looks like it's definitely. Oh, here we go. This will help. Honda Pilots are what year do they change? So it's going to be like the car the lady in Minneapolis was driving. She had a Honda Pilot, and it's like, yeah, she kind of had like an older Honda Pilot, so you're not going to get any insurance for that. That poor telephone pole got hit. I'll tell you this much, guys, having had clients get DUIs and stuff, the cost of getting a new telephone pole installed or a power pole, whatever you want to call it, whoa, a lot. Or if they knock over a street light, that's a lot. I remember I had a client once, he hit a rock and there was a metro park nearby and he got drunk and he hit a rock and plowed into it and scuffed all the paint off of it. And they charged him like $25. And it was the middle of the summer because they had to have one of their like summer help go out there and fucking paint the rock. P-Dub says, was it like $15K? I think for this guy, it was like a total of like all the work they were going to have to do. Yeah, because this was a critical pull, like at a juncture point with a lot of lines coming into it. And they had to put guy wires into it to keep it stable. Yeah, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. It was over $10,000. So, but yeah, it's an older Honda Pilot anyway, so I doubt they're going to get any money for it. Any city that's painting rocks like it's an army post has to be a dump. Well, it was the Metro Park, so, but yes, it's Cleveland. It's the Cleveland area, so it's all a dump. It was a 2014, I think. Jeez. It's a 12-year-old car. So. Let's see. If it's an 07, they'll get like $1,500, yeah. If it's in the Philippines, Roscoe says you take out like half the island. Oh, no. Also, Roscoe, you said it'd be like 10 to 13 minutes. I don't know what you were talking about when you sent me something. So, you got a $17,000 for your 2017 Camry in 2025. Well, it's like Hondas and those things are pretty good at keeping price. They're very good at keeping price. Oh, the video you sent me. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see it. I see it. Huh. Well, if you guys want to watch this real quick, we can kind of react to it and see what's going on here. Oh, I found it. I found what you were sending me. Okay, is this... Don't tell me this person talks, because I don't want to hear... I hate it when you have these AI people talking through it. Okay, we'll try this. Defense attorney fucked around, pissed off the judge. Well, yeah, here we go. All right, let's see this. All right. Let's see what this is all about. Says a fake attorney shows up to court. I mean, I don't know if she's fake, but let's see. All right, let's see what this is. Let's see here what's going on. Oh, I got to be on the other side, so I'm not in her way. Okay, let's see what this is.
I didn't ask for an argument, counsel. I just told you my decision.
The discovery. I'm not the attorney of record.
Then why are you here? We've been told we have to actually hold you people in contempt so that they can withhold the payment for the job that you're not doing. Mr. King better bring a toothbrush when he comes for the show cause. Please send that message.
For truthful, but
He was being lazy and unprofessional, counsel. He never spoke to the defendant. Stop, or I'll hold you in contempt.
Well, that is actually a problem if you don't talk to your client. So
Sit down. Counsel, don't test me. You're done speaking today.
We've got quite the tension today.
okay, I hate this. You don't need to talk. You don't need to talk. And these AI voices and stuff.
Defense camp. The defense missed filings, delayed, is gone. What's why
Okay,
are we?
I don't need to
versus
hear that.
Littleton.
I hate the.
morning article said more on behalf of the people, 84724. Good morning, Your Honor, Attorney Silva Cross, and Attorney Martin James Case, hearing on behalf of Mr. Littleton. Mr. Littleton, can you please introduce your
All right, ladies, we ready to go?
Yes, Judge, people are ready to go, and I have a complaining witness who flew in from out of the country to be here today.
All right, put her on the stand.
That's pretty serious. Well, not out of the country witness. Whoa. Wow. Okay, this guy deals with a lot of soft sits. Oh, okay, well maybe I'll react to some of his stuff. Interesting. So they hauled in somebody. Okay, so let's see what this is all happening here.
Your Honor, I mean, Mr. Wilson, to remove the competency at this time, the defense counsel is adamant that Mr. Wilson is no way understanding the nature or the object of the proceeding and cannot. But he is not fully aware, Your Honor, when I try to ask him, or explain to him that I'm his attorney, he doesn't.
Let me stop you. When did you talk to him and realize you had those problems?
And so it sounds like she's saying he doesn't understand what's going on, so it's a competency issue. And they're having some sort of hearing today, so it's finding out like at that hearing. Yeah, that's not the time to find that out. Now, there are times where that could happen, like you're talking to your guy, and then for some reason he shows up in court like all hibbity-bibbity. And I've had that happen before where like, okay, they got high as a kite or something before they came to court. And the last time he talked to him, they weren't. But this is a little bit different. The guy's sitting in jail. And it sounds like we hadn't been talked to yet by anybody. How would they know?
It's been a compounded conversation. So it was the first time that it was a little off. If Your Honor was, I'm not sure if Your Honor was the judge at that time.
Was not.
Saying that I didn't think any.
Counsel, my question was a simple one. When did you know you had this problem?
So I'm telling you, it's a compounded issue, Your Honor. It wasn't just the first time; it was the second time.
Well, no, but when's the first time you notice is what he's wanting to know. And if you could say, I don't know, Judge, this is something that was brought up previously, then fine. But just say no. Looks like I'm sitting at the prosecutor's desk. Well, here, I'll fix that.
Also,
Denied. Twice I've asked you a direct question. You can't answer it. I asked you for a date. When did you know you had the problem? They flew somebody in from out of the country. If this was a problem you could have told them about a week ago, we could have avoided that. So we'll go ahead with the exam. You can do whatever you want. You can build whatever your record is. We're going to use the witnesses that are here today.
Yeah, that's the correct answer. That's the correct answer. That's correct. You're saying this court's dress code is weird for everyone. Why? You know, the women are wearing like pantsuits. The guy's wearing a shirt and tie. The guy on the bench is wearing a shirt and tie. The cops are wearing their uniforms. Like, it's pretty standard. Pretty standard.
I didn't ask for an argument, counsel. I just told you my decision.
going to be completely, I think to be ready and what to be Mr. Wilson had no opportunity to review the discovery. I'm not the attorney of record.
Then why are you here? Who's the attorney of record?
And that is correct, Judge, as much as Ms.
So schedule a show cause for Attorney King.
Well, I think she said that at the beginning. I don't know why the judge didn't bring it up till now, but she already said this once. Angela says the guy's wearing green scrubs. That's what you wear. Like, you get your jumpsuit top and bottoms. Like, not everybody wears a jumpsuit, but you'll get like a top and a bottom. He's in jail. And different jails have different colors. So, like, this guy's not a... why is the defense counsel's mic choppy? It's the court audio system. A lot of court audio systems suck. Especially, like, these ones where the cameras monitor it and everything. It's not uncommon. Oh, you think... So, here we go. Somebody in the public defender's office sent her down there to cover.
For contempt of court. Would somebody like to explain to me why the attorney of record is not here for a scheduled exam?
Well, the understanding that there is a different environment that he's explaining to us is hard because I was going to come here anyway, and because Mr. Wilson was going to refer to confidence.
No, he wasn't.
If there is another matter, you always, well, if you need two places at once, you file a continuance. Because sometimes courts get, like, there's court time in front of where it's like, Your Honor, we need another pretrial date. Okay. And then you get a notice from them saying, here's the date you're coming back. If you already got something scheduled, Your Honor, I need to continue this. you schedule this, I've already had something previously scheduled. And that's how that works. But this is she's saying, well, I thought something else. He's already getting competency. And the judge is like, nope, that's not happening. So. And online, right? Can I see this? He sent in the younger attorney to take the hit because he wasn't ready and he hadn't done the work. That happens sometimes. But, I mean, who knows what the hell's going on here? So.
I'm here anyway because Mr. Littleton was going to refer to competent.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. You were going to ask for that.
The court, the statute requires that the court at least consider the referral to competency at this point in time juncture.
And he is, and he's saying, I'm not. He's going to say, I'm not. And this is the biggest thing here. Notice she points it out. There has been a delay. Well, that's all it takes. If you haven't done it right away.
I understand that there has been a delay in the complaints from out of the country. However, the statute is very clear. And if Mr. Littleton and not a citizen rationally not comprehend what is actually happening, actually he cannot move forward. And obviously the court has an obligation to consider. Well,
Here's what I consider. Here's what I consider. Your office is continuing to do this.
And she's doing what she can. She's doing what she can. Like the idea that this is a smug lawyer. Like this is where I think it's like, this has got to be clickbait or they're just completely retarded. This is the one of the things I don't like with some of the court viewing people, like any judge that yells at people. It's like, that's not all of it. Like she's not smug. She's defending her client and setting the record she can. She was given a shit sandwich here and she's eating it. So.
To the court docket with attorneys that are scheduled that don't show, don't call, just ghost us. We've got attorneys that show up the day of the exam having never spoken to their defendant repeatedly, day in, day out. Every Wednesday we have the same thing. Your office is disrespecting the Wayne County bench. Is that clear? We've been told we have to actually hold you people in contempt so that they can withhold the payment for the job that you're not doing.
Things are already getting heated between the judge and the defense counsel, and honestly, it's hard to blame him. They flew in from another country, and the judge isn't buying a second contempt rule. Appearances, ignoring deadlines, book by judges.
I don't need to hear her talk. Yeah, this is outside of this is suburban Detroit, right next to the airport.
Would you like to say anything?
Judge, I just asked for an opportunity to make a fair record, if I may.
Go ahead.
So first of all, I would like to note that this is my first time actually working with Ms. Barrage. This is not, I believe, her choice. I believe she was sent here by Mr. King.
Oh, it sounds like they threw her to the wolves.
I just want to acknowledge that. Don't think that this is a problem for me.
No, she's just lucky enough to be the one I yell at. No.
Judge, I contacted Mr. King. I called NDS last week, contacted them specifically so that I can figure out ahead of the PCC who the defense attorney was. I found out that it was Mr. King. I contacted Mr. King.
Hold on a second, chat.
Elephant that day.
2.0 doesn't like it when I pick on the AI.
It's for the cause conference. I let him know that I was personally sending him the digital discoveries so that he could review it. I indicated that there may be some competency concerns, and I asked if he would let me know if he would be referring for competency. I also let him know that I spoke to the out of the country complaining witness, confirmed the next 4 to 6 Wednesdays for free in her schedule, and let him know that we'd be flying her in, and told Mr. King that I would make any of those days work, but that if we scheduled an exam for her to be flown into the country, and judge, this is very important, this happened at the airport, so flown into the airport, that she was sexually assaulted in, that if that happened, and if she came here, we were holding this exam. Because I was not going to have the victim come all the way back here, only to be told that there was an adjournment request or have him be referred for competency. I asked Mr. King that. I did feel at the time like he was dismissing me, but I also recognized it was pre-PCC. The PCC happened. I appeared early. I was not present when the actual date was set. It was set for 7 days out. We did everything that we could to get the victim here. I had the officer in charge meet her where her plane landed at the actual gate to get her from the gate through the airport. Again, she was sexually assaulted into her hotel to keep her calm because she's been extremely traumatized as a result of this. Prior to this, after all the arrangements were made, I started calling Mr. King 48 hours before the victim needed to leave to come here, just to confirm that he's not planning on asking for an adjournment for discovery, to confirm that he was not planning on referring the defendant for competency. He refused to call me back, refused to answer my text. I got a call from him this morning at 8:30. It was the first time he has spoken to me since pre-PCC last week. And that is when he told me that he had not spoken to his client, that other members of his team had fortunately stepped in to speak to his client for him, and that they were concerned about his competency and that he wasn't.
Okay, if I was the judge, I would have been really pissed off at her now. You knew all this? Why didn't you bring that up to start off with? Because I understand, like, you know, the public defender's getting yelled at, but like you kind of knew this was all going to happen. You might have wanted to let the court know, hey, this is going to turn into a disaster today. Like, I'd be a little pissed off myself at her. It's like, why didn't you just tell him? Like, why'd you let me just drag all that out of her? You could have cut to the chase now in what, the 2 minutes you've been talking. And then you could have yelled at the public defender.
I'm not sure if the defendant would be able to sit through with this hearing today.
This is totally unconscionable.
Which I told Mr. King that we would address the, because to be fair, Judge,
Mr. King better bring a toothbrush when he comes for the show cause. Please send that message. Clear? Counsel? Clear?
And that is a threat. He may go behind the side doors into the jail. So, Cool Chill Name is saying no. That's a lot to actually get filed. No, but there could have been, you know, like, I don't know. If I was the prosecutor, I would have like CC'd defense counsel and made it clear to the court, like, look, he just told me he's not ready. This is going to be a mess. I just want it on the record now. So, Edward Scott says, I bet the judge still puts it out in the contempt. I mean, who knows what's going to happen there? We haven't heard his side of it, so who knows what's going on right now? Because it doesn't sound like the replacement girl knows herself.
Answer my question. Clear? Make sure he brings a toothbrush when he comes for his show cause. Thank you.
if I may, Judge, I recognize I have no actual power to object to a competency referral. And I recognize that. But the way that this was handled, it is one thing to inconvenience me, and I have a lot of respect for the Neighborhood Defender Services. There are several of them here at this courthouse that I have so much respect for.
Me too.
But how this was handled was completely inappropriate, and I told Mr. King that until there was an actual issue in court, we were here, we were ready to go, and I'm at a loss, Judge, because ethically as a prosecutor, I know that I cannot push to proceed when there is a genuine referral for competency. I don't want to compromise my ethics, but this is extremely difficult for the position that we are in. And the reason we're in this position is because of Mr. King.
The wild part, the state did everything right, detailed, cited the real clown show. You can almost always win. It's the hill the defense.
If I may, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I don't know why she's talking anymore at this point. Like, the judge chewed your ass out. He made it clear it wasn't personal. He told you, tell your colleague he better bring his fucking toothbrush. I don't know why she's talking. At this point, this could be an issue. I don't know what he's going to say here. Sweet Tooth Fairy saying, why was he yelling at her? It wasn't her fault. Because he's pointing out on the record, they hold them, he's just pointing out she's not doing things right. Like, he's not doing things right. And she's the representative of that office. And that office has done things problematic. So it's no different if you're in a firm and the firm screws up and somebody sends you down to go do it. Like, sometimes you've got to eat shit for your boss. Like, I've had to do that before. I did that once as an assistant prosecutor. I had to go eat shit for the prosecutor. It happens. C'est la vie. It's not your It's never fun. It's never fun. So. Well, yeah, I don't blame this guy because this guy's sitting here. He's like, well, am I ever going to have my freaking court date? You know, I'm going to be sitting in jail forever. Although, to be fair, it sounds like he's probably going to be sitting away forever. So, yeah, we'll see, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, thank you, prosecutor, for the procedural history, and I can't speak to the conversations of the prosecutor had with Mr. King directly. However, I will remind or just say that at the times and moments that Mr. King was stating that he did not intend to refer to company C until after buying over, that those were true statements, and it wasn't until understanding the actual and not to get into privileged communication.
Here's the problem. Like, she's worried about, like, now she must be brand new because it's like now you're arguing about Pay saying this is a good format. You guys like this? Okay, maybe we could do some of these once in a while. What happens here? Well, you're arguing about when this person knew about this. The fact this guy didn't bring up the competency thing right now is not the problem. Like, okay, the competency is kind of like the competency is like a little problem right now. The competency is like a little problem. Like being absent, that's the big problem. That's the big problem right now. Like, that's the issue. That is like the biggest problem right now in the courtroom. Like, that's the size of what we're dealing with here. I would not be doing this if I were her. You know, she's arguing about this thing. And it's like, that's not really the biggest thing you got to deal with here. Roscoe said, what I want to see is comments on an arrest from a lawyer and cop, and then on the trial by a lawyer. Well, something maybe there. Especially since they flew the victim from out of the country. Well, that's a whole nother issue. But yeah, there's a lot of problems you can have in life about like various motions and stuff. But this is always the biggest one. This is always something this will always be a massive problem, not being available.
And client confidential conversations that we've had, that even at this preliminary examination, even if it is probable cause, and even though he's told the prosecutor that we don't intend to refer to competency until later, it was clear that Mr. Littleton has an issue understanding the order, nature, and proceedings, as well as not being able to assist rationally in his defense. So it's not to say that Mr. King wasn't being honest or truthful, but
he was being lazy and unprofessional, counsel. He never spoke to the defendant.
Your Honor,
Which just take your loss now. Like, I understand she's trying to ride for the brand here, but like, yeah, you got to cut your losses here. Like, I understand she's trying to ride for the brand, but this ain't doing it.
Unless she's lying to me, King told her he never met with Mr. Littleton. Other people from his office had.
I wasn't part of that conversation. I can't speak to them.
Then I'm going to take her at her word.
Lying. Just saying that all the times that she's
You stay out. You should be staying the hell out of this. You should be staying the hell out of this at this point. You should be staying the hell out of this if she is here at this point. You know what? You just look at the prosecutor and go, yup, I agree. I'll take her at a word. I'm just going to zip my mouth, zip, 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 and I ain't saying nothing no more. Ain't saying nothing no more. That is her best bet at this point. Cool Chill name says DA's lie. I guarantee you there's documentation for that. So. They're just saying no, this is just women reflex as well. Yeah, I would have said, thank you, Your Honor. We will, and then left it there.
speaking with Mr. King, and he made the applications and the intention of holding this exam, that was his intention. It wasn't to be dismissive. He wasn't refusing to communicate, that he was figuring out.
Counsel, stop, or I'll hold you in contempt.
Just to make my record.
Keep talking, I'll hold you in contempt. I'm not going to let you make your argument.
You made your record. You made the record for him the best you could. She's made the record the best she can. Like, at this point, you're done. You know, the judge is still on your side. The judge is very much like, listen, it's not personal. It's only business. I'm not mad at you. But now it's slowly turning into, I am actually mad at you.
Because you don't know what you're talking about. You're not talking from firsthand knowledge. She is.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Sit down. Counsel, don't test me. Sit down.
Just yet.
You're done speaking.
Just like when the cop tells you to sit down, you should sit down. Now, there are times where you might want to test the court and go into like, I need to protect my client's rights. This is not protecting your client's rights at this point. We're not at that level. She should just take the L.
Today.
Does speaking today?
Yes, ma'am. Who flew in?
Judge, the complaining witness in this case, her name is Nora Alfamna. That's spelled Nora, last name AL dash.
All right, I'm going to want her in here in just a minute. Do the paperwork so we can send Mr. Littleton for his competency, which will be 6 months down the road before we hear anything. You guys can take Mr. Littleton back into lockup. Bring your complainant in. Just podium, yeah. Right here, man.
Oof. Yeah, so he's gonna remember her. I don't think so. He's part of this is, I guarantee you, she's newer, and he's gonna understand. Look, she's trying to do it the best she can. He's not gonna hold that against her. Now, what they're gonna do is they're take him out. We're gonna do, and that, in a place like that, I could imagine competency is probably gonna be 6 months. I could easily see it being 90 days. It's just, that's never fast. It's never fast to do. But yeah, now the victim has to come in and the court has to explain to her, I'm very sorry. I haven't seen this yet. I'm sure he's going to say, I'm very sorry. You've done nothing wrong, but you're going to have to come back a couple months down the road. Yeah. Let's see.
Right here.
Yeah.
Did you tell her what happened?
I did not. I told her that there was an issue and he wanted to see her and that I would explain as.
So we're not going to have an exam today. I wanted to apologize to you personally for making you show up and put you through this and have nothing of substance happen. I also want to know exactly, with documentation to counsel, what it costs you to show up here today. Because if I find the attorney in contempt, I'm going to charge him for your costs. You understand that? All right. I just wanted you to hear it from me personally, that I apologize on behalf of the system. I apologize to you because the system is not treating you well.
And that's a fair sanction. If you cause the parties money out of their pocket, it's a problem. And somebody's saying, D Cripple saying, can't she do it by Zoom? I don't know, but it sounds like there's probably a confrontation issue, or for some reason under Michigan law, whatever type of hearing this is, she had to be there. But I'm assuming there's some sort of confrontation problem. But yeah, you don't generally want to do this stuff over Zoom if you don't have to. So who knows what's going on there? But yeah, it's not a surprise, and they're going to easily make the attorney eat the cost of that. Yeah, I can easily see that. And that's a fair sanction. And, part of that is, instead of putting you in jail, if I charge you $2,500 to pay her, you'll make sure you don't do that again. Because getting slapped for money hurts.
Thank you, counsel.
No, fair. I'm not trying to be, just telling you.
Thank you. And again, I just want to acknowledge that I do not believe that Ms. Farage did anything. She's just said.
I don't disagree.
The way this case was handled by the defense is a disgrace to the entire legal system. This wasn't an honest mistake. It was intentional, and everyone...
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yes, this was wholly unprofessional. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Now this lady, and as much as I make fun of victims' rights and all that, this lady flew in from out of country for some reason. She was told to be here, and she spent thousands of dollars to do it. Had to fly through it. It sounds like she got attacked at the airport. It's, to the best of my knowledge, a follow-up hearing is yet to happen. Okay, well, we can watch that at some point when it does happen. Since he was never held accountable, apparently you could do that. Well, I don't know if the hearings happened yet on that. Now, yeah, that's what happens here. It's one thing that the case doesn't go your way, but it really is difficult for people. And it does become a problem at some point. And this is the type of stuff that breeds the pushes for victims' rights, where like tons and tons and tons of contempts happen. Karen says, I wonder if he worked at the airport. It sounds like he did, probably. I'm guessing usually that's how that stuff happens. But yeah, this girl she got assaulted at the airport. She had to fly. And it's one thing, like, you don't normally have to go back through where it happened, but it's Detroit Airport. So she flew back into where she had been assaulted. Like, that had to be difficult. Even if she got a police escort out of there, even if they unless they grabbed her at the door and took her down the stairs onto the tarmac and escorted her out of there, which, I doubt the Port Authority or the Detroit Airport Police are going to let her do. It's good. You got to walk through that whole place. Yeah. That's not uncommon at all. Like that this stuff is pretty serious. And if there's 2 airports in Detroit, yeah, but I'm betting she flew in a DFW. But yeah, no, I can see that, and I can see the court stroking this guy for whatever it is, and that would be just. That would be just. He wouldn't really have any grounds to oppose that. That would be a very fair sanction. That'd be a very fair punishment. He could throw him in jail, or more importantly, he could make this woman whole for his misconduct. And honestly, it's just making sure you're available. And if he wasn't going to be available, getting out to see this guy, meeting with him, getting the competency motion filed. Because if he had filed the competency motion in advance and she showed up, the judge, they wouldn't have brought her here. She wouldn't exist. She could be here. She could handle a competency motion on her own. And the judge had been like, cool. All right. You're here filling in. Yeah, DTW. Sorry, not DFW. Yeah, Detroit Airport. Yeah, sorry. DFW. No, DTW, the Detroit Airport. The airport used to have the awful road outside of it. There's a lot of ways this could have happened, but yeah, it doesn't happen that way. It's never good. It's never good. But yeah, I'd be curious to see. I like how this is like fake attorney shows up to court. Like, I don't know why she's a fake attorney when they're using fake voices. Like, I hate this clickbait. It's like so annoying. So annoying with this stuff nowadays. So enough. Like, she's 100% a real attorney. Eric says that would be every Michigan road. Yeah, but for a long time, the road outside of Detroit's airport was like bad. Very bad. Very, very bad. Even worse than normal. So, and some of you might say, well, are there airports you can go to? I mean, not really that are feasible. So, yeah. Clickbait works because the negative engagement triggers the algorithm. Yeah. Coke Fairy says allegedly assaulted, though. That's a lot to go through to have filed a false claim. Yeah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me to that this is legit, but I have to say it's an allegation still. That guy's innocent until proven guilty. So you don't know. Maybe it's right. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe she picked the wrong guy up. Maybe the wrong guy got arrested. I don't know. We don't know yet. Yes, Johnny Osprey's right. Send him to Detroit. That'd be rough. So there's an actual attorney who showed up in cases there. Am I going to cover the what? The TYT fake attorney lawsuit against Nate, the real, Nate Brody? Like our Nate? Who's suing him? Who's suing him? What the hell are you talking about? But hell yeah, I will. Hell yeah, I will. That'll be interesting. That'd be interesting. I don't know what the heck that's about, though. I have no idea what you're talking about. So that doesn't help me. You tried to give me the actual court feed. That's okay. This worked. I'm not mad at you, Roscoe. I appreciate it. So we were able to skip through. We were able to skip through, so it all worked out. The TYT fake lawyer. What? I didn't see. Oh, Rashad Ritchie. Oh, that guy. Yeah. Is he suing Nate? Is he suing Nate right now? Oh, yeah. That guy. Yeah. The fake degree dude. Yeah. No, I didn't know that about. I saw Nate covering it, but I didn't realize, like, I just thought they covered all the doctor stuff. But yeah, okay. Well, no, if the guy's suing Nate, hell yeah, I want to see that. We'll definitely cover that. He threatened to sue the other black guy who exposed him. I guess he was threatening to sue. Well, we'll see. We can cover that. Oh, he has threatened to sue, but hasn't filed. He ain't got no balls, chat. The strong move quiet and the weak start riots. And right now, I just see a weak man who's starting a riot. If he was strong, he would have moved already. And he would have sent a letter. But yeah, ooh, I did not know that. I'll cover. I mean, we can talk about that. Talk about that. Yeah, he's scared. He's scur. I'll say it in a language he understands. He's scur. He's finna to be scur. Open y'all. He faked a JD from Haiti, which is civil law, not common law. Well, I mean, I don't know what Nate said yet, so we'll take a look at it. Check Ford Fisher stream. People are surrounding the hotel in Minneapolis again. It's getting intense. Ooh. Ooh. All right, let me pull that up real quick. Sounds like we got some riot updates and happenings. A news to share. Let's see. Hold on here. News to share. We're in Minneapolis. Huh. I'm gonna turn it down a bit more, chat. Looks like they're surrounding some of the hotels where the ICE agents are staying that have been trucked in. So, Anna Wall says, "Are we doing the Supreme Court case?" Yes. At some point, we will. Yeah, it was today, but like I said, not today. Not today. So, Rabbit says, "Any plans to be in a future conflict anytime soon?" I need to reach out to the guys. I mean, I don't know. I'm busy this Friday morning, so probably not, but soon. Oh, still, is Aaron down there for real? Wow, that'd be funny. But thank you, Chugi. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Let me see here. Say, play Nate's video? Yeah, I mean, like, we'll come back to this in a minute if something happens, guys. So, let me see here. What does Nate talk about? Let's see. Nate's been threatened. Let's see. Has Nate done a video on this yet? Jesus Christ, Nate. 3 million views, brother. Hell yeah. God damn, I'm not doing it right. I am not doing this shit right. I gotta figure this out better. 15 million or 1 million views. God damn, he's crushing it. Guys, if you guys see Nate on there, show him some love. He's still recovering from everything. So, yeah. Oh, Nate's got he's got a 2-hour video. I'm not watching a 2-hour video. Oh, it's a half hour long. We're not watching that, guys. It's not a half hour. But I will look at it. I will look for it. I'll watch it. Okay. Steel toe in the streets, yes. Steel toe in the streets and goo eater in the sheets. Look for the Stony sign. Did I see Virginia's $500 suppressor tax? No, but that's not a surprise. That's the response to all this stuff now. So I got to quit working a real job. I got to start doing pre-made content, I guess. Have Nate mentor me. Nate's going to say, just do that. It's like, I got to figure that out. So, oh, he's got multiple videos covered by the Roach King. Oh, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Well, it's good for Nate. I'm happy to see that. So, no more eggnog in grocery stores. Well, all you nog drinkers could suffer. I have no pity for you people. We can't drink our eggnog anymore. Yeah. I don't care. You watch 5 minutes of Aaron out there. It was brutal. I mean, it's real. It's on the ground journalism, chat. It's on the ground journalism. What do you want? What more could you want? It is what it is. So, all right, chat. Well, we're gonna wrap this up here. It's about 10:30. We're gonna wrap this up tonight. Thank you guys all for being here. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know. I don't mind doing the stuff I've been doing, but if you guys want stuff like this a little more, I'm okay with that. I just let me know what you guys want. Let me know what you guys want, how you guys want to do this. Leave a comment, let me know. So we can try to integrate this a little bit more. Some of these cases as they're unfolding before they get into a case at that point. So, and then, yeah, I mean, I could do I know, and here's the problem though. I know a bunch of you guys don't like body cams, but I mean, some of this courtroom stuff, I don't know if that's any better. Let me know. We can react to cover some of it as it happens too. Schneider Brazil's great stream. Well, thank you. Everett Scott says, I mean, it wasn't great gooning, but everything can't be some communist getting shot in the face by a government agent. Well, fair enough. Old man John Face says, we are here for you, Sean, whatever the content. And I appreciate that. But ultimately, if you guys want something or another, let me know. Tell me. That's how this works. If you guys don't tell me, I just do stuff. And if you don't want that stuff, you got to tell me you don't want that stuff. Shredder says, will we do the yeah. Any arguments? We'll do the trans arguments for West Virginia. I don't know if we'll do that Friday or Saturday, but we'll do it one day here coming up. Okay. So, no, you watch me argue with the airbrush. Yeah. So, Bovine says, good evening. I haven't seen you in a while. My recommendations. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing very well. Thank you. So how about a member stream? Man, we could do one of those here coming up. I went international law and history. Okay, well, we could work on that a little bit. USV Miller, we could work on that too. Am I sleepy? Actually, not right now. I'm okay. Put Clyde on the entire time. I could just do that and just put Clyde right here put his bed down on the table and just make him give some melatonin and just let Clyde and let him snore one night. We'll do a stream. Yes. Guys, we do need to get to 27K. Cool channel name says he wrote it on purpose that way. Civil procedure. What? Who wrote what, Stu? Are we doing Miles stream tonight? No, not tonight. You like Clyde TV? Yes. Stacy says, you want to see me lifting weights? I am not going to lie, Stacy. I appreciate that, but I am too self-conscious and, my self-esteem is fragile enough it is. I would, you can watch progress, but I don't think I would ever be able to film myself like, Kurt does. And I will say my hat's off to Kurt because he's got a level of fearlessness and not giving a fuck that I would never be able to have. I can tell you that much, and he's awesome. And guys, by the way, Kurt out there just fucking making it happen. Guy threw down like 1,000 pounds, which, for being your 40s, that's not an easy feat. So bench, deadlift, and squats. Good on Kurt. Good on Kurt. Super Wiener says, it fucks on me how you're under 27K. Well, it is. It is, Chad. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if we're ever going to get over 27K at this point. I'm being throttled, Chad. I'm being blacklisted. So with that said, chat, I'm going to leave us here. And like I said, tomorrow we will get started on the au pair trial. If we can work it out time-wise, we might do the rare breed trigger thing beforehand, but I don't know. Otherwise, we'll start the au pair thing probably around 6:30. Kind of how we normally do these trials, about 6:30, and we'll get started. And from there, chat, we will... From there, I will see you guys. And just remember till next time, chat. Just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Does not mean you're guilty. Although this guy in Chicago, like, I'm pretty sure he's guilty. It sounds like they kind of caught him red-handed. So we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Well, we shall see. Anyways, good night, chat, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care, everybody.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the